How's everybody doing today? My name is Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. We're back today and we have got another rye whiskey review, and this is the newest rye whiskey coming out of Heaven Hill Distillery, Elijah Craig Straight Rye. Let's get into it. Alright, so back in October of 2019, Heaven Hill announced they're going to be putting out a rye whiskey to one of their most popular brands, Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig Rye is going to take the market by storm, in my opinion. And at a good price point, we're going to see if it lives up to the hype. So this whiskey comes in at 94 proof. It is a barely legal rye, 51%, and 35% corn following. So high corn as a secondary grain, barely legal rye. I'm expecting this to drink a lot like a bourbon drinker's rye. We'll see. We'll see. Very kind to the whiskey community. I had a wonderful guy, Bernie, send me this bottle because I can't get it locally. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate it. I can't wait to get into it and review it for you all. So, talking Elijah Craig Rye a little bit, there's a lot of good rye whiskeys out there. I mean, there really are. And at this price point, $30, it's getting to be a saturated market. With the bourbon boom going on so much right now, people are branching into other styles of whiskey, rye being one of the major categories. And I know me personally, rye is something I didn't know anything about a couple years ago, and as I started trying more of it, trying some higher proof ryes, it really connected with my palate. So wide range of ryes out there, and it's a vast world of great ryes. So I'm curious to see where Elijah Craig will fall in that category. Let's go right into the color on this. Nice copper color, not overly dark, not overly light. Being 94 proof, unfortunately I searched near and far, and I couldn't find any age on this. So I don't know the age. I don't know. Sometimes there's rumors of age. I don't even know a rumor of age on this. So we'll see if we can pick it out when we try it, But nice color overall. Let's go right into the nose. Okay. Baking spices on the forefront, allspice, nutmeg, a little bit of clove. Dare I say almost like a the ever so slight barrel char note comes through. Second time into the Glen, you're getting more of that orange peel, lemon zest, where it's like those rye fruity notes, the bitter fruits, orange peel, lemon peel. First smell I took was all baking spices. I would have thought it was a bourbon for sure, but second time diving in, it's really more rye forward. So you can really tell this is more of a rye coming through. Only 51% rye, so most likely it's going to be a bourbon drinker's rye. We'll see when we go to the palate, though. Nice nose. Very inviting nose. Nothing off-putting. No alcohol burn. Just nice rye notes, Let's give it a sip. Cheers, everyone. Ooh, okay. Front of the palate, nice explosion of, honestly, a balance of rye spice, which is like that, those more bitter fruits, as I mentioned, the orange and the lemon, a little bit of that grassy note, and then baking spices, still coming through on the front of the palate very well. Center to back of the palate, I was expecting kind of that rye, bitter, drying oak to come through. Nothing. A nice medium finish. Nothing overly long, overly complex, but nice solid pour. Let's give another sip here. I really love the front of the palate, honestly. I do. Love the front of the palate. Center of the palate takes over again with some of that like peppery note. I'm getting a very slight tingle on the back of the palate for that rye spice. That's something I love to find in my rye whiskeys. It's that little bit of that palate punch, the palate tingle makes your taste buds just tingle a little bit. Tells you you're drinking a rye whiskey. That's a wonderful note in rye. And to me, that's a sign of a good rye. It really is. So let's go one more sip. So third sip really changed in a good way, I think. It drank more like a bourbon drinker's rye. So even more sweet on the front. Like that was more vanilla caramel, baking spices. Now the tip of my tongue actually has a little bit of a tingle. Tip of the tongue tingle. That's nice. I mean, that's nice. We're talking a $30 rye whiskey here. You can tell it's not overly proof. 94, solid proof. It's not overly deep, overly complex. The mouth coating and finish is decent. As I mentioned, it's probably a medium finish, but I do appreciate the slight Kentucky hug and the slight tingle I get on the back of the palate. It helps with me with whiskey. Mouthfeel and finish, massive thing with me for whiskey. So overall, very solid expression, honestly. I think if you can find this, it's gonna push to be a staple on your bar. It is. I mean, the market out there, there's Old Forester rye, phenomenal value, cheaper than this. Elijah Craig rye, Knob Creek rye. I think this and Knob Creek rye drink very similar to me. It's got the spice of a Knob Creek rye, which I find more than I do in like an Old Forester rye. Don't get me wrong, Old Forester rye is one of my favorites out there. I look forward to trying this in some blind head-to-heads with some other rye whiskeys. Try this in an old fashioned, which I have not done yet, because the true test of a rye whiskey is how it can hold up in an old fashioned. It really is, because that's the original use of a rye whiskey, at least here in the States. So I'm curious to try it. It should be a lot of fun. For me, this is a recommend. So one of the new things I'm doing now with the launch of my Bourbinsane website is I'm doing weekly whiskey reviews. And this is one I just put out a review of. So I want to do video reviews and written reviews for you guys. You can watch both, or if you prefer one or the other, or both, that'd be great. I did this, and for me, one thing I'm adding on is my Bourbinsane breakdown, where I give you a rating. That's not something I do during my videos normally. I also want to do a price I would pay. That's a question I get a lot. So what would you pay for this whiskey? So for this bottle, it's going to be right, like pushing $40, honestly. I'd say $35 to $40 is what I would pay for this. MSRP is about $30, like the Elijah Craig bourbon. But this is a really nice rye, especially after a few pours. Neck pour was a little bit medicinal, as tends to happen with neck pours. But now that I've had about 4 or 5 pours out of this, it's opening up really nice. It really is. If you have not checked out my written review of this, please go check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. You can actually put your name and your email in there, and we can send you notifications so you know when I'm dropping a new written review, blog post. I'm going to be doing whiskey news, reviews, head-to-heads even written as well. So also when we put out a new video, you'll get notified. So please do sign up for that. It really does help the channel, help me grow. One more time, I have to give a big, huge thank you to all my patrons who have joined the channel recently. I've had some awesome patron growth lately, and it means a lot. I mean, you guys are just awesome. We're doing bottle giveaways. Probably at this point, I've already done a bottle giveaway for you guys. We're going to do it a couple times a year. Sample pack giveaways, and there's some great perks over there. So if you're interested in joining, please do check out my Patreon page as well. Thank you all so much for checking out this rye whiskey review today. Have you tried Elijah Craig rye yet? What do you think? How does it compare to other ryes on the market? I really want to hear your thoughts. So let me know. Let me know your favorite rye whiskey out there. Around the $30 price point. It's probably still Old Forester rye for me, honestly. Just full disclosure. They're doing some incredible stuff. Appreciate y'all being here today. Stay insane, everyone.